Much for being here. Thank you so much for putting up with the technology challenges, but I'm so glad that you are here now, and that's the most important thing. And for those of you who are maybe not as familiar with me, my name is Brittany, and I am the one that sends you the emails, and I'm the founder of my yarn club. And I really want to put this event on because, you know, many of us are in isolation right now. I know I'm in California, and for the next 4 weeks, we're really under self-quarantine or mandatory quarantine now. And I know that that's happening in a lot of different areas. And there's a lot of fear and stress out there. And you know, I just really wanted to be a place of positivity. I wanted to put on a fun event to break up your routine and to help you feel good. And really my only goal with this is just to have you walk away with a smile on your face and feeling good and feeling like you had some social interaction and feeling like you had, you know, you got some things that you want to work on. You're getting some great crochet and knit patterns on this. We've got 21 great crochet and knit problems. On this, which is great. So I'll be sharing that with you over the course of the next hour or so. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. We're just going to hang out, and that's the purpose. Is I want you to show up, have some fun, bring whatever you're working on, your work in progress. You know, let us know. Introduce yourself in the chat box, and I know the chat's exploding right now, which is fantastic. But I want you to just take a second, introduce yourself to your fellow crocheters and knitters. Let me know where you're calling in from. And you know, what pattern you're most excited about, and are you excited that we're hosting this social? I would love to know, because the more that I'm able to learn from this, the better. As I said, this is my intention with this is it's going to be the first of many that we're going to do. I really want to make sure that I'm there for you over this next little while, and that this tough time becomes a little easier. Personally, I've turned off the news myself. I don't want to think about anything negative, and it is what it is at this point, and we're just going to make the best of it. So thank you. I'll read some of the comments now and just check in, make sure everyone's seems okay. We got so many people on here, which is awesome. Really, really love this. People from all over the world, which is really great. And people mentioning what they're working on, amigurumi, some blankets, a lot of people isolated. But again, this is going to be a good source of breaking free from that isolation for the time being. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So how's this going to work? So over the course of the next little while, I'm going to share 21 crochet and knit patterns with you. Now, let me get you the link to the download page that was available in our last technology platform, but of course, it doesn't seem to be available now. So let me send this to you guys. I'm putting it in the chat. And this is where you're going to be able to access all of the patterns. And Jamie, if you could just keep pasting that link. I know the chat's exploding right now. Guys, if you see someone in the chat box who isn't sure where the resource is, if you could just direct them to that URL, that would be great. And the other technology that we were using, I had something pinned to the top, but I've got to be honest, I don't know how to do this in this platform. So if you could just help a sister or brother out, whoever's on this call, if someone's looking for the pattern download links, that's where it is. So that would be really, really great. And again, Jamie, you can continue to share that if possible. Now, let me look here. Let me see where my screen went. Here it is. Okay, so let's see if I can share one more resource with you. Okay, I can't seem to figure that out, so I'm just going to keep sharing my screen. Thank you for continuing to share that pattern download link. So the pattern download link is in the chat box for those who are looking for it. Again, next session will be a little bit more organized now that we know the other technology platform isn't as reliable. I'll make sure these are all good, but I appreciate you guys sharing that. You don't need to spam it, but you know, if someone's looking for it, just share it with them. So I can focus on my presentation, and like I said, we're going to be sharing 21 crochet and knit patterns during this, and I'm going to kind of treat it as a little bit of a show and tell. So with that said, let's kick things off and let's actually start the very first pattern. And the very first pattern is a pattern a lot of you are looking forward to, which is the Easy Elizabeth Stitch Fingerless Gloves. So what I really like about this pattern, I actually have it in front of me. Let's see here, I'll put them on for you guys. So what I really like about this pattern is it's perfect for keeping your hands warm, but you can still type. So I'll probably wear these for the course of this presentation. I can still use them myself, which is really nice. And you can use your phone. They're really nice for spring or for fall because you still have some warmth. That's the functionality aspect of it. You know, the non-functionality aspect, just from a crocheting standpoint, they're really fun to crochet because they're actually worked up in one piece and then they're seamed together down the side. And you use, you create ribbing, which I actually really like creating ribbing with crochet. And you also use Elizabeth stitch. So you get to learn a new stitch if you haven't used this one before. So again, the pattern for this is on the pattern download page. I'm just checking the chat and I see that it's on there, which is fantastic. And we have Katie saying, I've made a few pair of these using the crocodile stitch. Katie worked it in the round. So this one actually is worked almost as a rectangle. So it's great. I would say it depends on the speed in which you crochet. For me, I'd say it took me about an hour and a half to make a pair. So they're really nice if you want to watch a movie or, you know, you're listening to a podcast or something like that. It's not a terribly long project. Like sometimes we just get an itch to crochet and we don't even really care what we're working on. We just want to make something. And these are great for that because they're a great gift as well. So the fingerless gloves are a lot of fun. Definitely check those out if you're looking for a small pattern. This is definitely an easy skill level. So if you're a beginner, these are fantastic. It uses a size 3 yarn in DK. For me, I actually made these in a size 4, which is a worsted weight yarn. I used Blue Sky cotton, which it's a little bit more of an expensive yarn, but oh my gosh, it's the softest yarn I've ever touched in my life. So it was kind of a bit of a guilty pleasure and a splurge for me, but it's a really nice glove. Now, you only need 140 yards. So the other nice thing is if you have yarn at home, you probably have something that's 140 yards and you can work these up really quickly. So great for using yarn that you have in hand. And I know a lot of us can't leave the house. If you got your yarn from us, you're going to have more than enough yarn to make a pair of fingerless gloves, the one that we're sending out. So that would be a good one to use with this project. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to make this. Let's see. Jamie says, these are amazing. I made two pairs. A few people asking for the patterns. The link is in the chat. So just scroll up a little bit and you'll see it there. Thank you, Jackie and Christine. This is such a helpful community. And it's, again, one of the reasons why I want to just put these events on right now is really be a source of that positivity. Not just myself, but I know a lot of people in the chat box are just, you know, helping out, which is fantastic. So that's the first pattern I wanted to share with you. The next pattern I wanted to share with you is the Crochet Winter Flower Blanket pattern. And let's see. Oh, you know what? You guys can you see my, can you see me on the screen? I want to make sure I'm actually showing you something. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't showing it to myself because I've done that before. So we're all good. Thank you guys. So the next pattern is the Crochet Winter Flower Blanket. Now, I really like this blanket. You'll see a theme. And when I sent out the questionnaire to everyone, a lot of the feedback was I would like projects that are not stressful. And I get that because there's a lot of external stresses going on for a lot of people right now. And so for many people, not all, and we have all sorts of patterns here that I'm going to share today, but for many people, I know that there is, you know, just a bit of a tense environment. So the thought of maybe working on a stressful crochet or knit project is a bridge too far. So we've tried to put a combinations of patterns that you can just sit back and relax and just mindlessly crochet or knit. And then we also have some patterns that are a little bit more intricate too. So something for everyone, but these first few patterns fall in that category where you get to just relax. And so I have this blanket here. I know this is a small chat box, but you can see it's works up. Oh, didn't leave that end in. So, you know, it works up really nicely. This blanket, the one that I have in my hand is a baby blanket size. And the baby blanket, we call it a done in a day blanket. So, you know, again, depending on your speed, in about 6 to 8 hours, you could work this up and again, have an awesome gift. Or for those of you who are giving and making donations, this makes a really nice, you know, gift to give to hospitals or anything along those lines. It's fantastic for a baby blanket. And what I like about this one, we created a pattern originally called the Done in the Day blanket. This is a variation of the Done in the Day blanket, but it uses a different stitch. It uses the daisy stitch. So it's a very simple construction instruction. It's just repetitive of that daisy stitch. And it's really perfect for just sitting back. Maybe like, you know, some of us are compulsive crocheters and knitters where we just want to crochet something mindlessly and just enjoy that. And that helps us relax or maybe not eat, for those of you who are, you know, guilty snackers like myself. And it's nice. So for the baby blanket size, you need a bulky weight yarn for all sizes, actually. That's what's going to help you crochet it up a little bit faster. And for the baby blanket size, you need 609 yards. So, you know, a good amount of yardage and a bulky weight yarn. But again, it's a really fun project to just work up when you want to chill out and relax, watch a movie, or just use your hands because, you know, something's going on and you just want to relax. So that's why I really like this project. It's a really great project for just relaxing, and it is super, super cozy. I love the way it drapes. The daisy stitch drapes really nicely. And that's something that makes it really cozy. So I'll probably have this on my lap throughout this presentation and just bask in it. And let's see about the comments. Carol says, snacks are my friends. And Bonnie says, snacking and crochet. Yes, please. I know I think that's my concern, right? Over my isolation for the next 4 weeks. There's a lot of crochet, which is great, but there's also the risk of a lot of snacking. And by the way, guys, as I said, we're going to be doing more of these presentations over the next little while. And so if you would like to see some of my favorite recipes, let me know in the chat box. If you just want crochet and knit, that's fine. But if you want to know book recommendations or shows, recipes, let me know, because again, we're just here to really help the community. We want to provide as much entertainment as possible. And let's see. People are saying recipes are fun. Book recommendations are always good. You know, in the questionnaire that I shared, we had 80% of the people say that they love to read. And so crocheters and knitters are big readers. And so later this week, I'll be sending out an email asking you guys for recommendations on what your favorite books are, what your favorite podcasts are, what your favorite shows are, your recipes. And I'm going to be using that to compile a resource to then share those back with you guys, because probably a lot of us like the same things, but it might be a good way to get new recommendations. So, so with that said, that is kind of what we're working on, and that is the winter flower blanket. So let's talk about the next pattern. The next pattern is actually going to be a knit pattern. Now, for those of you who are on this call, I really love this blanket. Let me just open it up. It is a knit pattern, and I know a lot of you are crocheters, but for those of you who are knitters, I just love this texture. So if those of you who are crocheters who have never knit before, this is a really, really good pattern for you to tackle to learn how to knit. It's a really great beginner project. It's the first project that we introduced in my yarn club as a video class. And I wanted to give you guys the pattern because it is a really good pattern if you're looking to learn to knit, or again, if you already knit and you're just looking for something to kick back and relax. Now you can see this. It's massive. This one is a queen size. We have it in all sizes in the pattern. Now this one says 1,024 yards, so it's for a little bit of a larger size. I can't recall the exact size, but it will be in the pattern, and it does break down how much yarn you need for each. Now we've got a few people saying I can kind of knit, and crocheters wanting to learn to knit. So yeah, so if you are a knitter, great project to just kick back and relax. If you're a crocheter who wants to learn to knit, this is a really good pattern for you to just learn those simple skills, right? So you'll learn how to do the long tail cast on, how to change color, and how to create edging. This is a really nice edging, almost looks like single crochet. And it's just also above and beyond that, the texture is really nice. Now with this blanket, I'm trying to recall, you can use any bulky yarn, but I use Cascade 128 bulky yarn. Again, I really like the drape with that. It's a merino wool. It's on the lower price of a merino wool, but it's still a little bit pricier than acrylic. But one of the things I want to encourage you guys to do over the next little while is, if you can, if you're in the position to do it, try a new yarn or try a few new yarns over the next few weeks, because it's going to give you some excitement at home, but also try to purchase it from a local or a small yarn shop. A lot of them are closed, but they have online stores. I know small businesses are really having a tough time, and we're doing our part to help the community as much as possible. And I'll share more about that later this week through email. But you know, try out a new yarn. You don't have to, you know, maybe just get one skein and or one ball of yarn, and it'll be nice for you. You're going to have a lot of different patterns, and it just gives you something exciting to do. B, it's a great way to kind of just encourage economic growth and help the small businesses out there. So I really like this pattern. Again, I would encourage you to try it even if you don't knit yet and you're a crocheter. Great project to learn on, and it's a lot of fun. If you are a knitter, you can just relax. So those first 3 patterns are really good, kind of chill patterns. Really like them. Now let's talk about the next pattern. Now, before I do, let me see. A few people are saying they're allergic to wool, and I totally understand that. I know that some people are allergic to wool, and that's where acrylic's fantastic, or cotton, if you can use that too, is really good. Bamboo's nice. And sometimes it's just a budget concern. So again, you know, to each their own. You got to use what you want to use, what situations call for, but try to try something different. Even if it's a different acrylic yarn this time, it's somewhat exciting. You know, even just getting a shipment at home right now is kind of exciting in isolation. So for those of you wondering what size needle you use, that is in the pattern. Jamie, if you could post that, or someone could post the pattern link, or the pattern download link, I should say, that would be great. Thank you. There you go. So you can get the patterns. All the patterns are available on that page. So you just head to that page. All the patterns are there. So you'll have your needle size as well as your yarn size. Now, again, guys, I want to emphasize here that when I say yarn weight and I mention the yarn that I use, that doesn't mean that you need to use that yarn. You just need to find another yarn that is in the same yarn weight. So any size 5 bulky yarn would be fine for this. So if you have something that's in your stash at home, by all means, use that for that weight. If you switch to a different weight, it's going to change the gauge of the project. Now, with something like a blanket, that's fine because gauge doesn't matter so much. You don't really need to, it's just, if you're using a size 2 yarn, it's going to take a lot longer to make, and it's going to be smaller for the number of stitches. So you might have to adjust the stitch count. So you can change weight, but for something like a blanket, just note that it is going to change the overall size. But these are our recommendations. Karen says, gauge, who needs gauge? Absolutely. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next slide here. So the next pattern that I want to share with you guys is the Crochet Pop of Color Shawl. Now, I don't have all of the patterns here with me. I have a number of them though. So for the ones that I do have, I just like to show you. So you can see I've got this here. And it's a really nice size for just draping over your shoulders. And making it cozy. You can do it over your shoulders, but what I like to do too, and I lived in Sweden for a number of years when I was in school, and this is a very Swedish thing to do, is take it kind of like this and tie it around your neck for kind of like a really cute chunky scarf as well. So whether you want to do it as a shawl or a scarf, this is something. And we've got Kendall saying, love, love, love the shawl. Awesome. And Lynn says, you're all going to make me crochet, aren't you? Lynn, I'm guessing you're a knitter. And by the way, guys, for those of you who are knitters on this call and not crocheters yet, we have lots of great patterns for you. But hey, we've got a lot of time on our hands right now. So try out crochet. You know, a lot of the patterns that I'm sharing with you right now are fantastic beginner crochet projects. So anything that's more beginner or easy would be a great project for you to start with. The Fingerless Gloves would be great. Let's see here. We've got a few people saying, I'm seeing a messy bun pattern right now. Yeah, that's coming up next. Jamie says this is a perfect time to learn to knit or crochet. And a lot of people saying they love the shawl. So what I like about the shawl is the texture is really nice. You can learn how to, if you've never done a shawl before, this will teach you how to crochet a triangle. And it's fast and easy to work. So again, it's one of those ones that you can kind of kick back and relax, and it's not going to stress you out, but you're still going to learn a new technique if you've never done it. You're going to learn how to crochet a triangle. It uses the half double crochet for the main part, and then the moss stitch for the border. So you can kind of see, let me just bring this closer to the camera. That's the moss stitch for the border, and then it's just half double crochet. I really like the half double crochet stitch because it builds volume a little faster than single crochet, and I like the appearance a little bit better than a double crochet. So it's a simple construction as far as a shawl goes, and I really like these little holes down the center. And as I said, versatile for a shawl, and also if you don't want it as a shawl, then if you don't want it as a shawl, then you can wrap it around. And this is just my favorite thing. It's like one of my favorite things I took away from living in Sweden. They're so stylish there. It doesn't come super easy for me. So I have to see it on someone else first. And then once I see it, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So I love, you know, for a lot of you, it's still kind of a cold climate. We're not going to be going outside too much, but you know, you bundle up your jacket around it and it just looks, you know, pretty stylish for those of you who are interested in that. And functionality wise, it's nice and warm too. So we got a lot of people saying that that's a great idea, which is awesome. I'm glad you're liking it. Teresa says that half double crochet is my favorite. And Donna says so many projects I can't do when they have those stitches. So that's interesting. Let us know why. And if you have questions or you need help, let us know in the chat box because we are here to help. Let's see here. A lot of people saying, oh, Venus says it's sunny and 80 there. Gosh, I want to be wherever you are. It has been raining in California for the last 2 weeks, but the sun's coming out. So I'm hoping to go outside on my deck after this. I've been working nonstop this week to get this presentation ready. So I feel a little bit like I've been in a time warp working on these things. All right, so that's the Pop of Color shawl. Really, really great pattern. Again, easy to do, but very functional. So if you're tired of blankets, but you still want something easy, definitely try this out. It's really good. And by the way, I want to know next time we host this session, I want to know what you make and what you end up making, and hopefully you'll share some projects with me. Send us an email so I get to see it. So let's move on to the next pattern. Next pattern we have is the pretty pink messy bun hat. Now, I don't have that hat in front of me right now. I tried tracking it down, but again, it was kind of short notice. So I don't have the pretty pink messy bun hat in front of me, but you can see a great picture of it. And I really, really, really like this pattern. This pattern is really quick to make. So it's a similar sort of construction to the fingerless gloves because it has that ribbing. And then on top of it, we have another stitch on top. So it's a great stash buster pattern because you only need 210 yards for the sizing that we're recommending, which is adult sizing. And it's a size 4 worsted weight yarn. Again, you can use any size 4 worsted weight yarn. This is where gauge is gonna, be somewhat important. So if you switch to a yarn that is a fingering yarn or a sport yarn, that's gonna totally change the sizing of the pattern. So you are gonna wanna stick to a size 4 worsted weight yarn. You need 210 yards. So a lot of this is good for breaking up your stash. And some people are wondering, could you turn this into a regular hat? You absolutely could. You can see how to do that in the pattern. But I like the messy bun patterns. They're great for if you go out for a walk. You can put your ponytail through there, or I'm kind of a bun girl, so you can put your bun up top and that still stick through, or just take the hair off your neck. So they're nice in that way, and they've been really, really popular online for a little while. But it's a quick project, and I like that. Again, this would be something that would also make a great gift. A lot of us have a lot of time on our hands right now. So whether you're crocheting for yourself or knitting for yourself or for someone else, at a certain point, you might have everything made for yourself. So these are great gifts to give away. Get ahead of your Christmas projects. Why not, right? Fiona says, first time on, fantastic. So glad. A lot of people saying they're avoiding the news, and absolutely, I'm avoiding the news as much as possible right now and focusing on what we can control and just focus on having a fun time where we can. So are you guys enjoying this so far? If you are, enter yes in the question box. If you want me to host more of these events, enter yes in the question box, because I really want to just make sure that what I'm doing over the next few weeks during this time is helping you, and that you are feeling better about things. And my vision for this is you log on, and these My Yarn Club classes or sessions, whatever you want to call them, are just your happy place for the next little while. So that's why we're doing them. So you're getting lots of yeses, which is great. I love that. That makes me so happy to hear. And please keep an eye on your email over the next few days, particularly on on Monday. We're going to be sending out some announcements about some of the things that we've got planned and how we can help, and just more community events like this, more pattern sharing, more just checking in with you guys. That's really, really important to me. So thank you. Thank you for responding and letting me know. Really appreciate that. Let's see here. Okay. So Sherry says this helps break up the quarantine. That's fantastic. I really, really appreciate that. Okay. So let's see here. So as we were saying about the messy bun hat, so yeah, it's a great pattern, easy to use. I personally really like these colors. Obviously it's called the Pretty in Pink Messy Bun Hat, and I'm not normally a pink girl, but I think because it's more like a darker pink or a red at the bottom, it really pops. But I think any colors that you choose, you could just do one color, of course, but I think it's really cute, or a really nice kind of touch having one darker color on the bottom and a lighter color in the same color family up top. That's really, really fun. So yeah, you could do like a dark blue and a light blue, or, you know, a dark orange, whatever it is, whatever your color family is, I think would be really, really great. So that's the Crochet Pretty in Pink Messy Bun Hat. Yvonne says Seahawk colors. You could totally do your sports team colors for this. That would be really cool. And I know a lot of people use their sports teams to make different sports teams colors to make different hat patterns. So you could wear this to a game in the fall, and that would be really cute. It's, you know, it's not too hot. It's a little like better for spring and summer, or sorry, spring and fall, I should say, because it's not a full hat. So you can kind of like let it breathe a little bit. Even if you're not putting your hair through the center, or maybe you have shorter hair, nothing has to come out the hole. It could just like be like a little hole for a little breathing hole for your head. It's perfect. So that's a Crochet Pretty Pink Messy Bun Hat. Karen says she's got shorter hair. Yes. School colors. Yeah, school colors would be super cute as well. Especially if you got kids. All right, so let's move on to the next pattern. Now, before I do, someone asked the question, has anyone else lost their Crojo during this time? And a few people are having trouble. So if you have lost your Crojo, or I don't know what the equivalent would be, your knit Joe, but you know, whatever your excitement to sit down to crochet and knit, if you've been struggling with that, sometimes that happens when it's a bit stressful, right? You know, the climate has been a little stressful lately. I know what works for me, because I've gone through that, is just picking a really easy project. So picking something like the blanket that I showed, the 2 blankets that I showed first, whether it's knit or crochet, and just do a little bit, like just 1 or 2 rows. Just pick it up and tell yourself, I'm just going to do 1 row. And just see what happens. Usually I trick myself into working out this way as well. I'm like, I'm just going to put on my running shoes and then see what happens. So this is a good little technique actually for doing anything. So anything that you're trying to do that maybe you don't want to do, or you've lost the mojo for doing, just break it down to the simplest little step. If it's working out, put on your running shoes. Then once your running shoes on, you're like, well, I may as well open the door, or I may as well do whatever exercise you're about to do. If it's crochet and knit, just tell yourself you're going to do 1 row, 1 row at a time. That really makes a big difference, because I think often when we're feeling like we've lost our mojo to crochet or knit, it's because, you know, there's external events going on, and maybe you're just feeling down in general. And so that's a tough place to be in. So you gotta try to like slowly work yourself out of that. And one of the ways to do that is to have good distractions, and crochet and knit are fantastic for that. But don't think about tackling a whole project. Choose something really, really simple and just baby steps, 1 row at a time, and just see how that feels. And maybe that first row feels kind of good, and then you decide to do a second row. Or maybe you just do it again the next day, whatever it is. So you can see, you know, again, why I wanted to have this community chat. You can see that you're not alone. You can see that you really aren't alone right now. And I know that a lot of you maybe feel that way because we're being isolated. Even if you have people at home, it's an isolating time. But you aren't alone. And so you can see a lot of people are having a similar sort of reaction. So if you are having an issue, post it in this chat and let us help you. So, okay, let's move on to the next pattern. The next pattern is the knit rib edge dishcloth pattern. Now, this is a really great pattern, again, well, for 2 reasons. I like this pattern because it's knit, but it's also a simple project. So this is one of the first projects that Jamie, who actually created this pattern of Dabbles and Babbles, she created after she just learned to knit. So she had only been knitting, gosh, I feel like a few weeks before she created this pattern. So it's really perfect for a beginner. She was a crocheter originally, and then she started knitting. So it's a little smaller than that blanket I showed you. So it's like, if you just really just want to try out knitting, it's great. If you are a knitter already, these are really great washcloths to have around home, and they look very elegant. So they do make a really nice gift as well, because there's a really nice border around the edge. So they look very classy. They're quick patterns as well. So they're great for the home as gifts. Again, another great stash buster pattern, only 90 yards. That's not a lot of yarn, so a lot of us have that at home already, maybe scraps from another ball of yarn. This is a size 4 worsted weight yarn. So again, you want to use a size 4 worsted weight yarn. Any size 4 worsted weight yarn will do. And the skill level is easy. So again, it's an easy skill level, which is fantastic. And easy to whip up. Dishcloths are great. I mean, right now, actually, we probably need even more of them. You're kind of around your house, you're cleaning more, probably wiping things up more. So these are great to have. So let me check in here and see if, let's see what everyone's saying. By the way, if you hear what sounds like something just making a weird noise in the back, it's probably my cat. He's upset that I'm not giving him attention. So Pam says, I'm a very novice knitter and crocheter, so videos are her friend. Okay, so as far as what needles to use, that would be in the pattern. So if someone could post the pattern download link in there, that would be great. Suzanne said she thought it was her cat. Yeah, that was his first meow this session, but I promise you, as this session goes on, he will be making more noise in retaliation for not paying attention. Show us the kitty. When he comes back, I'll show you him. He's a Bengal cat, so he's like high maintenance, really needs a lot of attention. He just has the best life, though. He sleeps most of the day. Oh, look, he's coming over. Let's see. If he comes close enough, I'll show him. Hi, buddy. Oh, hello. This is my cat. Are you gonna meow? So sweet. Yeah, he's a sweet guy. And you know what, it's really nice because I live alone, so it's especially isolating for me. And you know, these sessions are just as good for me as for you guys. I love being able to come on and connect with you guys, and it's really given me a great focus for the next little while to just help as much as possible. And yeah, he's my little bud. So this is the lots of comments on the cat. That's awesome. Thank you. He's my bud right now. All my family's in Canada. I'm Canadian, so I'm the only one here right now. So it has been quite isolating for me. So I appreciate you guys being on here and hanging out with me today. So let's move on to the next pattern. Patty says I have a dog. I would love a dog, but I travel a little bit too much to have a dog. This guy can come on the plane with me. Okay, so let's move on to the next pattern. So this next pattern is the Crochet Baby Puff Stitch Hat. So a lot of you were asking for baby hat patterns. Oh, time for him to go down. A lot of you guys were asking for baby hat patterns, and so we wanted to share a baby hat pattern. This is a really great baby puff stitch hat. So again, it's an easy level. If you've got babies in your life, it's still not warm enough. I mean, it's still cool enough, I should say, that making hats is a great thing, or for gifts, or these would be great to give to a hospital. I know a lot of you crochet or knit to give out gifts. And let's see. A few people asking for the pattern. All these patterns are normally paid, guys. We're giving them to you for free on this call. So there's nothing to buy on this call. We want to give value. These patterns normally sell for $177. We're just giving them to you. So for those of you asking where we buy them, no need to buy them. Just go to the pattern download page. We're giving them to you as a gift, something to kind of enjoy and just use yourself. We really just want to give as much as possible as a business right now to help you guys get through it. So go ahead and you can go to the download link. They're not for sale on there. They're literally just, we're giving them to you for free. So when we give you the URL, that's not like a page where you pay for things. It's literally just the download link. So you can go there and get the patterns right away. Okay. Yeah, so this is a great pattern because it's for baby hats, and obviously a lot of hospitals, you know, these are great gifts for hospitals, great gifts for babies that you know, newborn gifts, great to have on hand because, you know, sometimes you've got maybe you've got kids and they are having babies, or your grandkids, or your kids' friends want to, have friends that are having babies, whatever it is. These are really cute and they're quick to work up. Again, a great stash buster. Only 120 yards, size DK weight yarn. So absolutely great stash buster and easy to use. What I also like too is you are learning a new stitch in it. If you haven't used the puff stitch is really cute because it adds some really nice texture to it. And you can do all one color, or you can incorporate different colors, as you can see in the picture. So yeah, it's a perfect pattern for gift giving, or if you've got babies in your life. So a few people saying it's too small. Now the screen's too small. So if it is, you should be able to make it as large as possible on your screen. You just drag the corners. A few people said I use the control key. So if the screen appears too small, just try to drag it to make it bigger. It's full screen on my end. I know it's full screen on a lot of you guys. Deborah says, can you translate the baby puff stitch hat into a knitting pattern? That's a great question. Let me talk to Jamie and talk to a few of the other knitters on my team. I started knitting first, to be honest. My mom was a knitting instructor, and that's how I got into the yarn world. But then I didn't pick it up for quite a while, and then Jamie got me into crochet. So my skill level to translate patterns in the knit aren't high enough. I wouldn't be confident enough in it, but we do have people on our team who can do that. So we'll work on that. Vicky says, thank you, Brittany and staff, for sharing these patterns and having these sessions. Virtual hug to all. That's really awesome. Thank you. Oh, I know. People are saying I'm small. My video screen is small. Unfortunately, as you all know, we had to switch platforms very quickly. So I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll experiment with it for the next session. Okay, so that's the crochet puff stitch. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is the Crochet Market tote bag. Now, I love this tote bag because it's a very modern looking bag. And I know, crochet is one of those things that can look dated. And we're trying to just modernize things a little bit. And sometimes that's just using nice colors. Sometimes that's just different style and design. And I love this tote bag because it looks very, very elegant. It doesn't really look like your standard crochet. It's so beautiful. And it's quite easy to make up. It's actually beginner level. It's actually made with single crochet and half double crochet stitches. And it's worked in the round. So it goes pretty quickly. It's a really nice pattern. Actually, as I'm talking about it, I think that's going to be my next project because it's got a handle, which I love, but it also has a cross strap if you want that. So depending on what your style is, you can do both. And it's a great, when we're all let out of our houses, it's going to be a great beach bag. It's also a great market bag. You could gift it. And this project it's made with a size 3 DK weight yarn. So it would take, a little bit of time. I don't know, maybe it depends on your crochet speed, really. But I'm going to work on this one because this one is super cute. And I like patterns that are functional as well. I know a lot of us love making blankets, whether it's crochet or knit, but you could only have so many blankets in your house. Now I say that, and I know many of you are going to disagree. However, there's at a certain point, you're like, oh my God, I just don't have space for all of these blankets anymore. And then you start giving them away, which is great. But it's nice to make something for yourself sometimes, or maybe you've got, sisters or whoever who wants to have some bag. Mel saying, what's DK yarn? So DK yarn, size 3 yarn. So when you have a ball of yarn, I have one beside me, but it's wound up already. But imagine this is at the store. There's going to be a label across your yarn. And on that label, it's going to tell you a yarn weight. And it's going to say size 3 or size 4 or DK or worsted. And that's where you look for that. So when you look at a pattern and it says the yarn weight, you can know that you can use any yarn as long as it's that yarn weight. So go look at the labels if you have a yarn stash, or when you go to a yarn store or online, you're going to want to look for something that says size 3 DK. So, okay, so someone says some of us sell some of the things we make, or at least attempt to. Yeah, absolutely. So this is great. So a lot of these patterns would be great for that, especially the smaller projects. Already saying, do you sell yarn? We do have yarn on myyarnclub.com available. But yeah, there's lots of online stores. We have some available. I know it's hard to go in-person shopping right now. I think for the most part, no one's leaving their house. So on the pattern download page, we are giving away a free yarn. We're paying for the yarn, we're subsidizing the shipping fee. You just have to cover shipping fee. So if you go on the pattern, if we go on the pattern download page, you'll see a link to that. Awesome. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So the next one is a knit one. So the knit easy stripe baby blanket. Now what's really cool about this pattern, I don't have this to show. The next one I'm going to show you, I do have. But what's really cool about this pattern is Jamie actually created this knitting pattern, and it was the first thing she's ever knit, which to me is crazy. So she's a crocheter. So if you're a crocheter, this is just a great pattern for you to use because you're going to know it's an easy blanket. Now, if you are a knitter, this is a beautiful and classic pattern. I love how elegant this blanket is. It's absolutely stunning, especially the colors that she chose. The drape's beautiful on this. Again, it's a great gift for a new baby, or if you want to make a larger blanket, that's great too. If you want it to go a little faster, you could use a bulkier weight yarn or a bigger yarn. So this calls for 920 yards. It's a size 3 DK weight. It's easy, and obviously it's a blanket, but it's an easy design and it's great for beginners. It only uses the basic knit and purl stitches. So again, really simple design, and it makes a beautiful gift. And it is a precious keepsake, especially if you're using like maybe something like a little bit of a nicer yarn. It makes a really, really nice gift. So what do you guys think about this pattern? Do you like this blanket pattern? I think it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Jody says, I think I might start knitting. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Now's the time. If you crochet and you never knit before, give it a try. I mean, we've got the time right now. You can order knitting needles on Amazon, no problem. And could be something just really easy for you to do. Jasmine says, do you have any Tunisian crochet patterns? Not in this pattern package. In our classes on My Yarn Club, we do have a Tunisian crochet class, just not in this right now. So a lot of people saying they really like it. Awesome. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like the pattern so far? You're enjoying this session? Let me know. I've still got I believe we've got another 11 patterns to share. Awesome. A few people asking for the link to the pattern downloads. If someone can share that, that would be awesome. Now, that's great. Cool. Thank you. Now, guys, one thing that I really want to do is we're going to be hosting this session and rebroadcasting the session every Saturday because we want to get it out to as many people as possible. We're going to have the live chat every time, rebroadcast the session, make the patterns available. So if you could do me a favor, I'd really, really appreciate it. Jamie, can you share the link to the Facebook post in the chat? If you have a second, I'd really appreciate it if you go to this post and leave a comment letting us know what you think about oh, there it is. Yeah, leave a comment letting us know if you enjoyed this session. Do you like the patterns? Would you recommend someone attend this session? That would be a huge help. I would really appreciate that because we want to share this with as many people as possible. As I said, we're going to be hosting it every Saturday for the next little bit to just help as many crocheters and knitters. So the link is the one that Jamie just shared. If you can share it one more time, Jamie, or if someone asks for it, that would be awesome. It would mean a lot to me. Just leave whatever comment you want, letting your honest opinion know about the patterns and the session so far, so that other people know that it's worth attending, that it is the real deal. Sometimes you see things on Facebook and people are like, is this real, or is it a scam that someone's giving away these patterns? And I just want everyone to know that we really are, and that we're here to help. So that would be great. The link is just there. Jamie can share it again on the chat box. Okay. So that's the Easy Stripe baby blanket. Now, the other pattern that we are going to talk about next, I do have here. So that is the Crochet Fringe cardigan. Now I love this pattern. It is so, so, so pretty. We actually have, I think it's on here, a knit version. Otherwise we'll talk about it. But this is so, so cool. Oh, okay. And Donna's saying, I'm afraid of doing any clothing. This is going to be really, really awesome. A few people are saying I missed the Facebook link. If you guys have the Facebook link, or Jamie, can you just keep posting it so that people have it? Thank you guys. Okay, so this is so cute. I'm wearing a sweater right now, so it's not going to fit over my sweater, but or maybe it will. Ooh, isn't that exciting when you think something's not going to fit and then you try it on and it does? It's like that's like my favorite thing in the world. So it looks awkward because I'm wearing a sweater underneath, but you can see like it's super cute. The detail, the fringe detail on the bottom, it shows better on our model, but I really like it. This is actually made out of a cotton, and oh yeah, Jamie, let's see. Jamie, you might be sharing it only to panelists. Can you make sure it lets all panelists and attendees? Thank you for mentioning that. There you go. Now, can you guys see the Facebook link? Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Cool. If you can leave a comment there, I would appreciate that. And Jamie, maybe you can just share it one more time so that people have it. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about this cardigan. So we call it the fringe cardigan for obvious reasons. There's fringe on the bottom of it. I really like fringe. A few people are mentioning that they've never done clothing before, that it can be intimidating, and I get that. I was intimidated about doing it, and maybe you're going to want to try one of the other clothing patterns first that we share, especially like a kid's sweater or something like that. Those are a really great place to start. But if you've been crocheting for a while, this isn't a terribly complicated pattern. It's only listed as advanced beginner, not even intermediate. So the construction on it is actually pretty straightforward. And a lot of cardigan patterns are actually just seamed together. So it's like a lot of square work a lot of the times. So often clothing looks more complicated than it is. And I would encourage you to try it out, especially if you can read a pattern. This is a good project to do. It's a really, really cute pattern. You could wear this with anything. I mean, with jeans, you could wear it over a dress. It's great for spring. It's great for summer. It's really great for all seasons, or if you want to wear it inside, like especially right now, you guys, for example, today, I'm grateful for you guys giving me a reason to like put normal clothes on and just do my hair, right? Because you're in isolation and you're like, do I really need to get out of my pajamas today? So sometimes when I work from home, or if I'm just at home a lot, I like to put something on like this that makes me feel like I kind of got dressed up for the day. So this is a good pattern for that. So again, this is a size 3 DK pattern, but you can't wear it over a sweater. You could if you made it a little bigger. Yardage is 1,100 to 1,445. We have it in different sizes, I believe, on the pattern, and on the pattern it will indicate the sizing. It's really nice because it's light and cool. It's perfect for spring and summer. It's also good for layering under like tank tops or t-shirts or long sleeve t-shirts. It's very basic crochet stitches, and you also get to learn the basic construction of a cardigan. So this is kind of like our take on a classic cardigan crochet pattern, but it looks fancy. But the thing is it only looks fancy. The actual construction is not that complicated, and I love it. I would suggest, if possible, use a cotton weight yarn, especially because this is a great project for the summer. It's a little bit more breathable. Layer it over a bra. You can do that too. Yeah. So I know a lot of people bring it to, a lot of like people in their 20s wear this to like a festival because of the fringe. So if you have a daughter or a granddaughter who's going to like festivals or, any of these crazy things, that this is great for that, right? Lynn says, yoga pants and t-shirt are my new uniform. One of the perks is self-isolation. Absolutely. Yeah, Caitlin says, I've been attending Zoom meetings, so the last little while, my top half has had to be professional. Well, guys, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't fully get dressed today. I am wearing flamingo pajama shorts. So my business up front and comfortable down below. But that's okay. I think we're allowed to do that right now. Rail says, can you leave the fringe off this? You absolutely can. So if you're not a fringe gal or guy, then absolutely you can leave the fringe off. I wish I could show you them. I love my flamingo pajama shorts. I got them from the Gap. And yeah, you can totally leave the fringe off. All right, so let's talk about the next pattern. Now, the next pattern I don't have to show you, but I do have more patterns to show you coming up. This is another beautiful crochet summer shawl. And I really like this one because it's, you know, the pop of color, we use maybe a heavier yarn, like you could use like a wool. It's nice for the winter, especially with the pop of color. It's like a nice, you know, it's a nice winter pattern. Whereas this one's our kind of our take on a summer shawl. Again, it's the same idea. So I'll just show you again. I don't have this pattern in front of me, but with the pop of color, this, let's pretend this is the summer shawl. The summer shawl, again, you can wear over your shoulders. This would be really cute to wear if you're attending a wedding and you need something to kind of like wrap around your shoulders. Or again, you just want to use it like around your neck as kind of like a summer scarf, you know, it's just something nice. And we made this in cotton, I believe, but you can make it in anything as long as it's size for worsted weight yarn. Okay. So yeah, people are saying, I would think worsted is too warm for summer shawl. So it can be if you use a heavy yarn, but if you use something like a bamboo or a cotton, it's quite breathable. So it's not too bad for the summer. So now with the crochet summer shawl, you can use a lighter weight, so like a DK or a size 3, because it's very repetitive and you basically just keep following the repetitions until it's the size that you want. So gauge is a little less important with this. Let's see what people are saying. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people saying cotton would be right. And you just keep adding stitches. Great. Worsted is a size 4. Melissa's asking, what is a worsted weight yarn? It's a size 4 yarn. So I'm just going to take a sip of water here. All right, a few people saying I was able to join. Yeah, thanks guys for being patient. I know we had some issues at the start. Okay, so that is the crochet summer shawl. Really dresses up an outfit really nicely, or just keep it casual. Again, it's still an easy pattern. It's still something you can kick back and relax with and just, you know, just have a good time, not too stressful. It's just very, very repetitive kind of sort of pattern and easy to do. So a lot of the patterns we're sharing, we're trying to keep with the trend that we want you to be relaxed and stress-free and it's easy to do, but we're showing you that there's so many different patterns that you can do that are very easy, stress-free, but create different shapes, create different objects. So whether it's a bag or a shawl or a blanket or fingerless gloves, there's so many different easy patterns out there. So if you are someone who's kind of only stuck to blankets, a lot of the patterns we're sharing with you are the same sort of skill level of a blanket, but you get to just try something different. So it's a lot of fun. All right, so the next one I want to share with you is the knit long sleeve shrug. I love this knit pattern. It is so cute. That picture in the top left is just like terrible of me. I feel like I'm slouching, but anyways, I love this pattern, and actually I really like this yarn as well. I believe it was the Cascade Big Wheel. It's like comes in a huge ball. It's like almost it's like a Karen cake kind of, but I really like the texture of it, and it's a really good price too. I think it's a better quality than like a Karen cake. So you need 600 yards, size 5 bulky yarn. Really nice shrug. It's made as a rectangle, and you know what, guys, you could create a crochet version very easily too, because essentially it's just a rectangle, and then you fold over the edges and you seam the arms, and then you have a beautiful shrug. So let's see, where did I put that blanket? I'll just show you. So I mean, if you imagine you have a rectangle here, you just literally fold it like this, and then you would seam right here, and then right here, and then now all of a sudden you like, these would be your armholes, right? So anyways, the pattern describes it better than I just did, but that's to give you a nice visual. So this is a knit pattern, but you could totally create a crochet version, and it's a really, really easy sort of shrug pattern. I really like it. It drapes really nicely. It looks good over jeans. It looks good over a dress. It's very flexible in sizing, so you could go really, really small, or you could go larger. It's totally up to you. Yeah, and Jilly says, make sure when you're sending messages that it's to panelists and attendees. Mine keeps switching to panelists only. And by the way, guys, oh, that's right. You know what? A lot of people are just sending it to panelists. So make sure you select attendees and panelists, because otherwise only I see it, not everyone. So that's really important. Didn't realize there's difference. We're all learning something new about technology today. So long sleeve shrug, that's really great. Really love that pattern. This is a knit pattern, size 5, bulky, easy, great cardigan, not a lot of yarn. So you probably have 600 yards of the same color or different colors at home. That would totally work. And the next pattern we're going to share is a crochet pattern. So this crochet pattern is the double V stitch beanie, and I love this beanie. It is so modern and so classy and cool looking to me. It's kind of like the same color as my sweater. Of course, you can use a different color, but I really love the texture of this stitch, and it's actually very, very easy. It only uses single crochet and double crochet, and it can also be transformed into a messy bun hat. So if you are someone who likes the messy bun hat look, then by all means, this is something you can transform. You don't have to have a pom-pom. I like the way that the pom-pom adds some, it just adds something to it. I find, like, for me, I prefer hats with pom-poms. I find that it looks a little incomplete for me without the pom-pom, but you don't have to. We used a faux fur pom-pom for this. You could also make one out of yarn. We have a video on that somewhere. And it's an advanced beginner, but honestly, I would say it's like beginner, like borderline advanced beginner. It's a great pattern if you're someone who has been crocheting for a bit and maybe you want to try something a little bit more advanced. This would be really nice for you. Kendall says, my only complaint is make Brittany bigger next time. Yeah, well, I would love to figure that out too. But not bigger in real life, just on the video. I want to be smaller. No. We'll try to figure that out next time. We're still kind of working through some of these things, but thank you. Yeah, some great feedback on here. Pom-poms are fun. Karen says, I love pom-poms. And it's a great versatile pattern, because you can do messy bun hat, you can do no pom-pom, or you can do pom-pom. So it's kind of like choose your own adventure pattern. And I love patterns like that where you can kind of customize a little bit to your preferences. And let's see here. Thank you for sharing the pattern link. Amy says, I want to thank you for what you're doing. It's nice that you're getting patterns and don't feel discouraged about trying. Yeah, it's funny. At my yarn club, I talk to our community members quite a lot. And one of the things that, one of the observations I got from them was that it's a lot of people really get stuck in their crochet or their knitting comfort zone. And you kind of get discouraged trying something new. And what I really, in addition to this just being a positive place, what I always try to do is just encourage everyone to try something new, whether that is to try a new yarn you haven't tried before or a new pattern, and to not get discouraged, because it's just yarn. You pull it right back out, right? And I think that, especially in this climate, but in general, what I found to be true about myself is I'm the most unhappy or, borderline experiencing feelings of anxiety and depression when I'm not learning something new, or when I'm not doing something that kind of excites me. And so we can all get into a habit of just kind of being on repetition, and especially right now where there's a lot of the same things. And so you need to kind of seek that excitement and that way to learn something new right now, because I guarantee that if you try that, you're going to feel so accomplished after. And that feeling of accomplishment is really going to extend into other areas of your life. And so if you can walk away from one thing today, I really want to encourage you to pick a pattern you wouldn't normally try, or something that you think maybe is just a bit beyond your skill level, or maybe you're learning a new skill or a new stitch. And just next time, let us know how it went for you. Because it's so easy to just keep doing the same thing. So I hope that that's good. Now, a few people are saying that they can adjust my video size. So if you can, do just drag it in the corner. And if you can't, we'll figure it out next time. All right, so let's talk about the next one. The next one is the next pattern, and I do have this here, and I love this pattern. This is the Crochet Heart Graphgan Baby Blanket. Now, this would be a great project if you are looking to learn a new skill, but it's still like advanced beginner. This is primarily made, I believe, in single crochet, and you're going to be doing the graphgan. So if you've never done a graphgan before, this is a really, really, really cute project to start with. And especially right now, I really like this project right now because, you know, there's a lot of people out there spreading stress and fear and, you know, just like things that aren't very pleasant. And I'm all about the love and positivity right now. So you can see this is the heart. And actually, I love this color combination, the gray and the pink. It's very like classy. It's gender neutral as well. Great baby blanket pattern. But honestly, I think I want to make a really large one to put over my bed, because this would be a really cute on top of a bedspread. So if you have never made a graphgan before, this would be a great project for you to start with. It's going to teach you the skills of learning how to make a graph, and learning how to follow the graph. And it's a pretty simple shape too. So there's not too much color work, so it's really perfect. Chris says, could this blanket be made smaller for a doll? Absolutely, you can make it smaller for a doll. We don't have its size for a doll, but you would be able to adjust pretty easy. Now, this is a size 5 bulky weight yarn. Now, because it's a blanket, you could adjust the weight, but it will adjust the size of the blanket. She says, I guess I'll have to do some online shopping. Cami says, this is so informational. I'm so glad to have this opportunity. I'm so happy that you have this opportunity. I'm glad you guys are liking it. Yeah, so guys, one thing is, make sure if you're sharing this, the patterns, please share the link to the sign up for the event rather than the pattern download page. I would love to get as many people on these live events as possible. So just get them to sign up for the live event, and then we'll email them the patterns after, rather than sharing a link to the download page. If that's possible, I would appreciate it, rather than sharing the pattern download page itself. That way they get signed up for the event. And we'll send an email on all of that, so don't worry. But by all means, you know, we just want to help as many people as possible, which is why if you can go to that Facebook post, and Jamie, if you could go and post the link to the Facebook post again. JC says she shared the Facebook post announcement page. Yeah, thank you. To just the Facebook page. There you go. Yeah, you can share that with your friends and family on Facebook, or just comment below, and that way they can get signed up, and anyone can have this resource for free. So it's like, this is a resource we're just trying to get out to as many of the knitters and crocheters in the community, because we will be hosting a rebroadcast of the video and then live chat. So every Saturday, this live chat will be available, but we'll also be, when people join that, they get added to our newsletter, and we'll make announcements about other sessions that we're holding. So we will be holding as many events as possible to just continue to connect with the community. Donna says, share it as much as possible. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And again, just in general, we want to help as many people as possible because it's a great break, right? It's a great break from everything that's going on. Okay, so the Crochet Heart Graphgan Baby Blanket, really, I would encourage you, if you are someone who's looking to try something new and you've just kind of done basic baby blankets, try this out. This is just, you can probably hear my Canadian accent there, try this out. But this is just, it's such a cute pattern, and oh, it's such a great gift for a baby. Or, you know what I was thinking? One of my friends just got married. This would be such a cute blanket pattern for someone who just got married. And now as I'm talking this out loud, I think I actually might do that. So now I have I have a lot of projects to make. But yes, this would be a beautiful gift to make. So I love this project. Really great for weddings, great for babies, great for putting on your bed. It's just a classic, and the colors that are used too are very, very nice because they're neutral. And so they're like, they would work in your home almost as like a decoration piece. And actually it would be really nice, like wall tapestry as well. So, and that's the nice thing about crochet and knit is I love to think about ways to use it outside of like just how you normally think about it, right? Like that would look really cute on the wall, like framed. So like you can use crochet and knit in so many different ways, right? So many different ways. And I can see the chat blowing up, and it seems like Jamie just had a great idea, and I can't wait to see what it is. So exactly. We probably won't be making a Facebook group, but we will absolutely be holding more of these. Okay, so let's keep going here, and we will be having more chats too. So let's go on to the next session. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to be creating fingerless gloves, knit fingerless gloves. So if you're a knitter and you like the crochet pattern earlier on, then fingerless gloves are fantastic. As far as the pattern goes, this is for knit. So this would be a knit fingerless glove option. And this is more of an intermediate pattern. It's not a beginner pattern. It's a size 5 bulky weight yarn. And it's 70 yards. So it doesn't take that much yards because it is a bulkier weight yarn. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. So again, this would be another great stash buster. And for those of you, could you please share the link to the pattern download page one more time? That would be fantastic because the pattern for the knit gloves is on there. And let's see, I think that those 2 links, yeah, there you go. Thank you. So the pattern for the fingerless gloves are on there. You're just going to have to scroll through and look for the pattern. It's size 5, bulky weight yarn. So if you have bulky weight yarn at home, this is great. 70 yards, that's really just one ball of yarn for most bulky weight yarn. It's chunky and it works up really quickly. And it's a really great stash buster pattern. You can learn how to make ribbing and also the slip knit stitch, which is really nice. And actually, this is a great pattern for just like kicking back and relaxing as well. Okay, so let me check in with the group. Now, who here is, if you're a knitter, type in knitter, and if you're a crocheter, type in crocheter. I'm very curious. Oh, and you can also say both. Lots of both. That's really cool to see. We've got an explosion on the screen. So I would say almost like an equal part, both crocheter and knitter, which is great. And you know what? After today's session, you know, I think we're going to have a lot of knitters trying crochet and a lot of crocheters trying knitting, which I really, really love. I love that. And a lot of people weave too. So I think the other thing I learned as talking to different community members is that a lot of people just craft in general. It's not just crochet. It's not just knitting. It's crafting, period. Okay, so let's move on to the next pattern. So we are on pattern number 16. So we only have 5 more left. So this pattern I actually have in front of me. Now, this pattern, if you're someone who has never done clothes before, this is an amazing pattern to try to make clothes. Now, it is size for kids. I actually want to resize this for an adult because it's like the cutest pattern ever. I mean, this is a very, very timely pattern right now because not only the colors, they're so cute for spring and Easter. Oh my gosh, this would be such a cute if you have kids or grandkids and they were all in a sweater like this, because it's unisex, right? You could this is totally unisex, and it's very, very easy. The instructions very, very easy. We're gonna have a wide collar. It's easy for getting over little heads, which is really important because I know that you've probably seen patterns online before for sweaters, and then you make it and it doesn't fit over the baby's head, and that, like, you don't want to force that, you know. So having a wide collar is really important. I love this. I mean, Easter's just around the corner. So, but you know what? This works up really, really quickly. So, and it's made with just a very, very simple stitch, double crochet. and it's like a rectangle, and then you seam on the arm. So there's a little bit of increasing and decreasing, and that's it. So if you're someone who is, you know, feeling a little ambitious or more ambitious than a blanket, this is a great project to make to try out constructing a garment. And if you're someone, even if you don't have kids or grandkids in your life, try it out anyways, because it will teach you some of the skills, and then you'll have the confidence to make an adult version. A lot of people saying I would love an adult version. So Jamie, maybe we can just make note of that, because this would be a great pattern to totally resize for adults. And I would love to wear it. We're using a cotton for this, which is nice for like a spring or summer. And yeah, so this is cotton. So someone's asking, but again, it really depends on the yarn. So for example, even if I didn't use cotton for this, it's a size 3 DK. You can use acrylic, you can use merino, you can use cotton. It's totally up to you. I love using cotton. Not everyone does. Okay. So yeah, great pattern. Mary says, maybe I could wear it on the next program. Definitely not this one. Might be able to wear it on my hand though. But we could resize it, and I would love to wear it. But you guys are convincing me all these projects. I want to make that bag. That's so cute. And that grafgan, that would be a great wedding present. So I'm actually going to work on that. This sweater is fantastic. This will be my third project. Kendall says, my nieces are 5, born 4 months apart, 1 on each side of the family. That's perfect. Awesome. Oh, sorry, I almost dropped my essential oil diffuser. Okay, so that's a really great project. The next project that we have, one of our last projects, and I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but don't worry, we are going to have more of these sessions. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your emails from me, because we will be making a lot of really exciting announcements about things that we have planned for you guys, that we're doing just to help the community. So keep an eye out, because Monday we have a really exciting announcement that I think you're going to love. And then also we'll talk about more of these sessions. Denise says, I've really enjoyed this. I'm so happy. And yeah, thank you for sharing the link to the Facebook post. If you want to leave a comment, please do that. So this next project, it's the crochet granny square blanket. I really like this. So I have this here. So you can see it, and you can see it's, you know, it's a classic granny square. But again, this is why I love sessions like this. Whether you're a crocheter or you're a knitter, you know, the skills that we use can be reused in other ways. So you might not think like, oh, classic granny square, but you can make tons of them and just put them together like this and turn it into a picnic blanket. Or also the classic granny square also makes a beautiful shrug. And I've done that before as well. So there's a lot of ways to use this. Now this pattern is very versatile, because some of you might not like seaming too much. This pattern has a little bit of seaming, but it's so cute. It's such a cute picnic blanket, or, you know, granny square blanket. I like to think of it as a picnic blanket. You could also, though, the granny square, how it's constructed, for those of you who haven't made it, it's very repetitive. So it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you don't want as much seaming, just make your squares larger, and then you'll have less seaming, and you'll still have the effect of a picnic blanket. So for this one, it's advanced beginner, but honestly, I'd say we classified it as advanced beginner only because of the seaming. But a granny square is very, very easy. It's a very simple stitch. We're just it's double crocheting or skipping, like chaining and skipping. So it's really cute. Dawn says, I've made one with great big squares. Absolutely. So it's a very classic granny square, and you can just make it larger, right? So you don't have to have smaller squares. So if you love it and you like the idea, then just make it with bigger squares, and then there's less seaming, which, you know, I'm all for that. And Mel says, the granny square is what I learned when I learned how to crochet. So that's really cool. Popular when I was in college. Yeah. So, you know, the granny square is totally coming back. And you know, a lot of those classic patterns can be modernized, right? And so that's kind of what we're doing. So these colors, they're very modern, they're fun. You can use any colors, but it's a really beautiful project. It's not your classic granny square. Okay. So let's see if I missed anything. Yes, it's easy. Make small or make it large. It's totally up for you. Up to you, I should say. On that note, I should have some water. Chris says you could also join as you go. Absolutely, that's another good idea. Okay, so that's the granny square. So again, I'll show you this one last time, but you can see it in your picture as well. Now, let's move on to the next pattern. And this is the, oh, you guys, look what I just found. My messy bun hat. See? So you can totally, let's see if I can actually squeeze my hair through this. So this is the Pretty in Pink messy bun hat that I had earlier. I knew I had it. So I've got my hair in a ponytail right here. Fiona says, you've helped my mojo. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. So this is this, but I could also, like, what I would do with this messy bun hat is I would probably like put a bun up the top, but I could also wear it down just like cute from the side, right? And if you have shorter hair, or you don't want to stick your hair through the top, you just use it like a regular hat. So it's really cute. Okay. So the next project I want to share with you is a knit sampler blanket. Now, again, if you are a crocheter who wants to learn how to knit, this is a perfect project to learn how to knit. We actually designed it. It should be classified as a beginner project. We actually designed it as a class for someone who's learning how to knit to take. And this is the pattern version. So this is fantastic. Now, if you're a knitter who wants to learn some new stitches, this is also perfect. So I actually have this pattern in front of me, and it's so cool. Like, oh, I love this. I'll just kind of, this is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful project. You can see it. It's a really good size. I love it. So cozy. I'm going to end this session wearing everything. Look a little crazy, but that's okay. And so this project is a sampler blanket. So what I love about it is you get to sample a lot of different projects. And so it's perfect for a beginner who's looking to learn a variety of stitches. You learn 4 different stitches in this pattern that only use knit and purl, which is why it's a great project for a beginner, because if you can knit and purl, you can do this. And knit and purl are the most simple stitches to learn in knitting. So the 4 squares make up 4 different stitches. So the first square we have is the diamond seed stitch. Again, it's just a combination of knit and purl. The second stitch that we teach is the rib ridge stitch. Again, same thing, just a combination of knit and purl. And then we've got the basket weave stitch, which I'll show you. It's, it looks very similar to the crochet version of the basket weave stitch. That's the basket weave. And then we have the chevron stitch. Oh, and I love the chevron stitch. It's beautiful. And then this is the diamond seed stitch. Let me see. Get a close up for you guys. The diamond. And then this is the rib ridge. Yeah. So a lot of people saying I may have to try this. You know what? It's a great project. It's a great project because if you're a beginner, you can do it, but it also has elements of an advanced beginner because we get to progress your skill too, which is why we classified it like that. So you can, knit and purl make up so many things. So it's a really fun project. And again, they're bigger squares, so there's not as much seaming. You could make the squares larger if you wanted to, but it has a really nice drape to it as well. I love this project. It's actually one of my favorite knitting projects that we have. In my yarn club, we have a video tutorial for this one. And I'll share information on Monday in our exciting announcement about that. But it's a great pattern. Again, it's very customizable if you want to use it as a baby blanket, or if you want to use it as a larger size, then by all means you can do that. But yeah, one of my favorites. And if you're a knitter, great to progress your skills. If you're a crocheter, you know, it's a great challenge to learn how to do. And it's a really, really beautiful project. And it's another one of those projects, and Jamie used this word earlier, it's like a keepsake. And it becomes like an heirloom piece that like you can have for a long time. And pieces like this, I like to use the highest quality yarn that I can, because it lasts longer. And if you're going to spend time making something that, you know, could take quite a long time, like dozens of hours, I like to try to use yarn that's going to last a while too. So you probably all have favorite yarns yourself. Now, on to our next pattern. The next pattern is the crochet pom-pom slippers. Now, in classic sock fashion, I could only find one of them. Isn't that the case with socks? I can never find a pair. I could only find one. And I feel like this happens to me all of the time. And it's just like, of course, I was laughing when I was going through this. I'm like, of course I could only find one of them. It's a sock. Why would I find two? Sneaky socks, exactly. So this is so cute. Actually, this is another pattern that I would like as a size for adults as well. This is size for kids, but these are so cute and they're so easy to work up. It's an advanced beginner pattern, you know, because you're doing a heel, but it's pretty good advanced beginner project. Thick and cozy, squishy, like slipper like texture, and it's a small project that works up quickly. Only 210 yards, obviously depends on sizing, and you can add pom-poms. And these are I feel like these would be the perfect socks to wear around your house like every day right now. Like you wake up and maybe you're just in your pajamas, but you have your pom-pom socks on, so like life's good. So I think a lot of people are relating to the mystery of socks going missing. And I have no idea where this other sock is. Where do all socks go? Honestly, I have no idea. It's not even like I put this through a washer and dryer. Like, so it's not stuck in there. I have no idea. They better stick together. Yeah. So we don't have, I don't think, ask my cat. That's a good question. My cat does hoard things. Just looking awfully suspicious over there, falling asleep on the couch. He doesn't even know there's a pandemic going on. Just quite an idyllic life. Now, I don't believe we have these in adult pattern. Jamie, you could confirm, but what we could do is we could totally resize for adult, because this would be so cute. A lot of people saying that they would love the this in adult version. Jamie says no, but we could resize it. Okay, so we'll make note. We're making notes during all this. So yeah, really, really cute, but great for kids. Also would be great for adults. So we'll look into resizing it. And I absolutely love it. And Christine says you could add strips of glue from a hot gun to make it non-slip. Yeah, so probably what I would do is, so you could get a piece of leather, and we did this in one of our My Iron Club classes, in the UGG slipper boots, is we had a leather sole, and we didn't use glue. I would prefer if you seamed it on. It's up to you, of course, but yeah, you could seam on some leather just to like step it up a little bit. And that would make it non-slip, or whatever, you know, whatever texture you want. But I really like patterns like this that do use leather. I love leather and crochet and knit. The combination of leather and crochet and knit is always a really nice combination. It takes something that, it just makes it more elegant and more like, it looks expensive, right? When you combine leather and knit, that's what I think. A lot of people talking about the cat, and I know a lot of us have cats, and you're saying that the pom-poms would make a great toy for the cat. Yes, that and aluminum balls. My cat loves aluminum balls. If you've never, you just woke up when I said it. If you've never given your cat an aluminum ball, make sure they're not going to eat it. You have to know your own cat. But he freaks out, like chases it around the house. Like it's the most fun thing in the world. Like I wish I had something like an aluminum ball that gave me that much joy. Okay, so let's move on to the next pattern. So guys, this is our second last pattern. Again, I really, really hope you're enjoying this so far. We are coming to an end, but no, that keep an eye on your email, really important, because we're going to be making a lot of announcements over the next little while. If you want more of these sessions, let us know, yes, in the question box. We're going to be working hard to do everything we possibly can to bring you more of this and more connection and more community and more patterns. That's what we're all about right now. Now someone's asking, let's see, we got a lot of people saying they'd love more. Awesome. I'll answer that question in just a second. So, okay, so someone's asking, what would I make with the sweet roll yarn? Now, you can make so many of the patterns with a sweet roll yarn. Let me just start from the beginning for a sec. So you can make the fingerless gloves. So the sweet roll yarn is the yarn that we're giving away right now. And you could totally make the fingerless gloves with the sweet roll yarn. I think that would look really, really cute with the sweet roll yarn. The other thing that would, and the knit fingerless gloves, you could too, although it's a worsted weight yarn, so it would adjust the gauge a tiny bit. Now, the other thing you can make is the messy bun hat. Same thing. So the sweet roll yarn would look really good with the messy bun hat because it's like it changes color. So that would give it a really nice effect too. You could also make this dishcloth. You'd have enough yarn for that. So that's a great pattern. You could make the baby puff stitch hat, but it's the sizing is a tiny bit different, but yardage wise, you'd be fine. Now, if you, let's see here, there's another one. Yeah, the V-stitch, again, you should be able to make it the V-stitch hat. It's a DK. The sweet roll's worsted, but it's kind of on the lighter side, so I think you'd be fine with that. And then, let's see here. You could make, well, if you had more sweet roll, you could make any of the sweaters, or well, we won't skip ahead. But so there's a handful of patterns on here that you could use just that one ball and have a finished thing. So you could make the hat, you could make the fingerless gloves, and there was one other that I forget. So yeah, there's quite a few things. Okay, so crochet children's heart sweater. So I love this. I don't know if it's just like with what's going on, I'm really into hearts right now, but I think this is so sweet. I don't know. I actually think this would be cute as an adult sweater as well. This is for kids, but it's the same idea. You're going to use the Graphgan technique. So if you wanna learn like how to do a Graphgan but not a full blanket, this could be a good option. And it's a very simple construction. It's just done in a square and it's seamed along the edges. So it's a very, very easy, very, very easy construction. And I love it. I like cardigans like this. Again, it has a wide collar so you can get the little guy's head through it, and there's a lot of give with it too, little guy or little girl. And I've got 3 brothers, there's no girls, and my oldest brother, he just had a baby, and it's the first one, so my first nephew, so it's a him. So every baby in my head, I'm like, oh, Aiden looks so cute in this. So every baby's a him to me right now. But this would obviously, it's really cute colors for a little girl. You could do whatever color in here. Red, you could do green or blue. It's really sweet pattern. I absolutely love it. Yeah, great pattern, easy to do. It's a small project, which is really great to learn the basic construction of a sweater and the Graphgan techniques. It's really fast and easy to make, and it makes a really great gift. So this is a really, really beautiful pattern. And the last pattern I'm going to show you, which is sad, but we will do more of these. The last pattern I'm going to show you is the round bag with tassels. And I love this pattern. Why do I love this pattern? Well, first of all, there's a lot of bag patterns online. There's not a lot of bag patterns that are like cute and different like this. And this is a round, like it's kind of like fashiony. It makes you like, I don't know, I think it's so cute. It's not what you would normally see. And with that pop of color with the red, it's really, really cute. I think it's awesome. So again, it's advanced beginner because we're going in a round, but really you're just kind of going in the round and then you're seaming it together. So it's fairly straightforward. I would say I really would say that everyone on this call should be able to do most of these patterns. You know, for the most part, it's beginner and advanced beginner, and the advanced beginner ones, I really think that you could still do. It's a very stylish design. It's perfect for a night out, or, you know, a night in when you're feeling like fancy and want to have a glass of wine, pretend like you're going out. You can use basic single crochet and double crochet stitches. So lots and lots of different options for this, but you could do it. You could do this, and you know what? This is a size 4 worsted weight yarn. So sweet roll, I think there's 245 yards in the sweet roll yarn per ball. So I actually think you would have enough to use sweet roll to make this bag. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's perfect. It's size 4 worsted weight yarn. So there you go. So those are our 21 patterns. What did you guys think? I'd love to read your comments. I will exit out of this presentation here, and I will share just myself, I think. Let's see here. How do I do it? Stop share. There. Now you should see just me. Hello, everyone. All right. So we got a lot of people saying you love the presentation and you're looking forward to more. That makes me so happy. I'm so glad this was so well received. Obviously, when you try something new, you don't know if how it's going to go. And so that's why I sent out a questionnaire and I asked, you know, what is it that you guys want? I didn't want to make an assumption about what you wanted, what would be helpful during this time, and how we could kind of work through as a community this next little while, which there's a lot of things going on in everyone's life right now, and maybe stress or fear or whatever it is. But it's really important to me that when you're here with me on these calls, that it's a place, is your happy place, and that you're connecting with people, you're having that social interaction, and that, you know, we as a business and as a company, we're doing everything we can to help you get through this tough time and to give you everything that you need to feel like you're taken care of, and to feel like, you know, all is right with the world, because everything is right with the world. Everything's going to get sorted out. We're going to get through this. And we just really want to be there to help in that process. So again, I so appreciate you being here. I also want to thank Jamie, who some of you have seen in the chat box. Jamie is my right-hand gal at the company, and couldn't do things without her. So thank you for sharing the links, Jamie. If you could share the link to the Facebook post one more time, that would be great. Guys, if you enjoyed this session, please take a second to just go on that Facebook post and share it if you can. That would be awesome. But just leave a comment and let us know, you know, would you recommend this session? If someone's seeing that post and wondering if they should join into next Saturday's session, whether you recommend it and whether, you know, you love the patterns, that would be awesome. We just want to help get the word out as much as possible. That will also get people on our newsletter so that we can let people know about the additional sessions that we're going to be doing. So as I said, we're going to be making an announcement on Monday, which I'm so excited about. And I'll give you a little clue. It's about giving you access to something, more resources to have at home, to use at home, and to get through this time, and to get your Crojo and just be really just enjoying it. So keep your eye on your email for that. And then we're also going to be making more announcements about additional sessions like this. So if you did enjoy this, then please, 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 by all means, you know, like, keep your eye on your inbox, just so that, you know, we can have you get the information. So let me read some of these comments. We're getting so many comments. Let me just see here. And so let's see here, just reading it. DeBurn says, my husband was about to finish chemo and I was so ready to get out with friends, and now this. I totally understand. I mean, I feel like this is hit for the worst time for so many people. And she says, thank you for giving me something else to do. So yeah, that, you know, everyone has, you know, this is a bad time for everyone right now. And we just really want to make sure you're taken care of, and that we're helping in any way that we can. We know we can't change everything, but in any way that we can, we want to give you something to look forward to. Someone says, it was so kind of you to share these patterns for free. Tina says, really enjoyed this. You're happy, but not fake happy. This is true. You know what, I'm really happy, especially right now, because I'm also like kind of going stir crazy. And so this has just been such a great focus for me to channel into creating resources, and to just, in times like this, it's nice to do other things for other people, and to bring together a community. Thank you for sharing that link. So Sam says, thank you for taking the time to do this. It was great to think about something other than the craziness. I'm so happy. And Tammy says, the next one is on Zoom again. Absolutely. Lori says, been making items for 60 years and so nice to have craft fair patterns. That's awesome. That's a long time. You could probably teach all of us how to do a thing or two. Mary Ann says, we'll share with my charity knit group on Monday in a conference call. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool that you guys are doing conference calls. I'm just going to read some of these out. I personally wish I was also able to participate in the chat session, but obviously I was running the presentation. But next week I'll participate in the chat session as we rebroadcast this. I'll also be on the chat, and again, we'll continue to have more of these. And let's see. Cree says, I post pictures of my project on Facebook page. Awesome. Pam says, you were great, breaking the server and all. Oh my gosh. Can't believe that happened. Thank you for working with me on that. It was like quick scramble and we got it all worked out. But it's because there's so many people on this line that I'm glad that we're able to meet the need. Lay says, thanks Brittany for the session. Definitely got me excited about pulling out my current projects and finishing projects. I would love to know, for those of you who are still on, who was on here like with a project, who here was crocheting or knitting while you were watching, or were you more listening and reading the chat box? I would love to know. Okay, and by the way, guys, we will send out an email with a link to the patterns. So if you missed it in the chat for whatever reason, we will send out an email to the link to the patterns. Again, the only thing that I ask is, if you're going to share it with friends and family, please don't share the link directly to the pattern download. Please share the link to the registration for the event, and I'll share that link too. Again, we want to get this to be as big of a community as possible, and have as many people attend as they want. Okay. Chia says, thank you so much for this. It's been a great distraction for all the panic out there. Can't wait for the next one. Tara says, had a wonderful time. Thank you so much. You've put a smile on my face. There's just so many comments, and I wish I could read them all out loud right now. But there's literally thousands of comments, which is so cool. So a few people say, let's see, I want to see whether you've been crocheting or just enjoying it. So, oh, wow. Lots of people working on projects while they're here, which is really great to see. Some people ate lunch. That's a good idea. I think after this, I'm going to go get some sun on the deck, because I've been a hermit, just trying to get everything ready for this presentation the last several days. And Jamie has been too, so I'm sure she's dying to do that. And I'm just, looking forward to getting some sun and maybe eating something. So a number of people listening, some people watching, also reading, crocheting or knitting, which is cool. And that was really my goal with this, was I wanted to, first and foremost, give you a number of resources that you could use, cool patterns, things like that. I also wanted to create a social connection for you, and then just a place where you could have some entertainment. Kick back and relax, bring your projects. Even though you're on this session this Saturday, come join us next Saturday, and it's going to be the same patterns, but you can just come interact in the chat group. You can come work on something. It'd be great to see you. So there you go. Guys, we have, let me just see here. I want to make sure I've got everything I need. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Rose is saying, is there a way to email me? Yeah. So if you send me an email at info@myyarnclub.com, we will get it. So info@myyarnclub.com, and just shoot us an email there. info@myyarnclub.com. Happy to answer. Now, we might be having a ton of emails today because of this event going on. So if I don't get back to you, or if my team doesn't get back to you right away today, know that we will get back to you ASAP. Now, Patricia's asking, we don't have a Facebook group at this time. We're not going to be creating a Facebook group. Not everyone has Facebook, but we will be bringing a community resource together where you'll be able to talk to everyone. So just keep an eye on your email and we'll talk about that for sure. And yeah, just watch your email. Like I said, watch your email. Okay, guys, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that that you all came. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for commenting on the Facebook post. Thank you for being here and sharing your afternoon with me. This has absolutely put a smile on my face. If it put a smile on your face, let me know. And stay tuned. We'll be making more announcements this week on Monday about what's to come. And I just couldn't be more happy to be here with you guys. So have a really good rest of your afternoon. Hopefully this will keep the good energy going for at least the rest of the day. And just, keep an eye on your inbox and we will keep in communication. We'll keep this going. I'm here for you 100% during this. You're not alone. As you can see, you've got this huge, great community here. And I'm just excited to have you here. And I will see you in the next session. So thanks, everyone. Take care and have a great day.